Taking responsibility for your own fate is not a burden, but an act of freedom. Vadim Zeland, the author of Reality Transurfing. So now that we know we have the ability to choose whatever reality we want to bring into existence, let's talk about which reality to choose and how we actually bring it into existence, the mechanisms of doing this. So the basic premise when choosing your reality is you want to choose whatever makes your life feel like a constant vacation. It's whatever reality that if you woke up in it tomorrow, there's nowhere else that you'd rather be. It's important when coming up with your desired reality to allow yourself to have the absolute best. Now that we know what outer intention does, we realize that with the help of outer intention, there is nothing that is out of your reach. And it sounds cliche, but when you're trying to decide what reality to choose, listen to your heart. Don't listen to your mind, listen to your heart when making the choice. When you're trying to decide what to choose, your rational left brain is going to try to tell you why it's not possible. It's going to project all of these imaginary roadblocks and try to use logic to tell you why you can't do it. You need to ignore your mind when you do this. Do not concern yourself in any way with how you're actually going to achieve the goal. Just focus only when you're in the search, focus only on finding the best possible reality for you. And it could take a while for this to happen. So what you can do is give your subconscious the task, give it a set of instructions of finding the ideal reality for you and let that run and just keep an eye out for whatever it may tell you. And now some of you may be saying, what if I can't choose? What if I genuinely don't know what reality to pick? Just choose something, choose anything. If you don't choose, then you're just going to drift around aimlessly and you're not going to make any progress towards anything. And this is the absolute worst thing that you can do. And if you happen to choose wrong, eventually it's going to become evident because the wrong choice will be superseded by the right choice. You'll know it's wrong because something better is going to come along and it's going to make it very clear that the original was the wrong choice. And then when this happens, you can switch and you can move to the new thing that supplanted the old. And this is likely going to be an evolving process. It's going to keep refining over time. But when you make the conscious choices in each moment using your quantum intention, you're constantly traveling in the right direction. All right. If there is any 5-minute stretch of this entire course that you listen to with 100% focused attention, let it be these next 5 minutes. We're going to talk about resonance. Remember in the first video how we talked about the true nature of cause and effect is actually an illusion, and that the more accurate description of how we bring things into existence is resonance? That's what we're talking about right now. The way that you bring your desired reality into existence is by consistently resonating at the frequency of your desired reality. When you resonate at that frequency of your desired reality, you embody the holographic slide of your target reality on a personal level. And over time, as you continue to hold on to this resonance, outer intention will work to rearrange the alternative space, the void, the implicate order, whatever you want to call it, to match the exterior, the physical reality, to your interior hologram that you're holding on to. And it's going to bring forth whatever you've chosen to embody into material existence. Reality operates like a delayed mirror. Remember this. If you remember one concept from this course, remember that reality operates like a delayed mirror. And when you are working with a mirror, you do not change the image in the mirror by changing the reflection itself. You don't work with the explicit order, the physical reality. You change what's being reflected. If you want to see a mustache in your reflection, you don't try to go mess with the mirror. You just grow a mustache. And then in the reflection, you will see the mustache once it's grown. You embody that which you wish to become, and eventually the mirror will show you its reflection in physical reality. Again, I said this quote in the last video: champions are champions in their minds long before they are in physical reality. And once again, shout out to Kindle. If I tried to draw these myself, I would have just confused you guys way more. So shout out to Kindle for these excellent diagrams. So this is what it looks like when you first start. As we zoom in here, you look at this personal hologram. This is what you're embodying on a personal level right here in this third eye. And as you can see, it is very different from what's going on around you in your physical reality in the super hologram. There's a discord. There's a disconnect between what you're embodying and what you're seeing. It's a delayed mirror. It's not going to happen instantly. So this is what it's going to look like at the start. But over time, as outer intention works in your favor, as you continue to resonate at the frequency of your desired reality, your personal hologram will begin to look very similar to your exterior hologram. And they're going to merge as one, and your desired reality will come into existence. If there's one sentence from this course that you remember, let it be this one. The way that you bring your desired reality into existence is that you choose your target reality, you resonate at that frequency, you embody that which you wish to become, and you put one foot in front of the other in the direction of your goal. I'm going to read this again. Choose your target reality, resonate at that frequency by embodying that which you wish to become, and put one foot in front of the other in the direction of your goal. Do not concern yourself with the means of achieving your goal. That's your left brain. That's your mind talking. Do not listen to it. The path will appear as you begin to walk it. You do not need to see the entire staircase in order to take the first step. If you want a nice little rhyme to remember this, you need to be it before you see it. And of course, you still need to put in the work. You're not going to be able to just sit in your room and resonate at the frequency of a trillionaire and expect it to just magically happen. You're not that powerful yet, at least. Who am I to tell you that you can't do this eventually? But for now, I would not count on that. But thankfully, when you're on the right path, the work feels effortless and you enjoy the process of reaching your goal. And if you don't enjoy the work, it is probably time to reevaluate your goal and choose a new one. Your mind has no idea how to reach the goal. It might tell you that it does, but it doesn't. At the very best, it might know the next step or two. And for this reason, you need to surrender to outer intention. Let outer intention guide you and shift the alternative space. Move the void around, the implicate order. Let it rearrange it so that you effortlessly glide towards your goal. Go with the flow. It sounds cliche, but just go with the flow. Let it happen. Embody that which you wish to become. You need to release the need to control everything. Stop trying to use inner intention. Work with quantum intention, work with outer intention, and only use inner intention when you know exactly what to do and you need to do it in physical reality. When you do this, you will live in harmony and bliss as the seas part before you and the path becomes abundantly clear. And in each moment, like I said, use quantum intention to make the choices that will lead to your goal. So before you realized that you had the ability to choose your reality, you might have felt like a puppet on strings being guided down a path that you did not choose. And it's important to note that now you're free of your strings, you are not the puppet master. You can walk freely, but you cannot directly bend material reality to your will. This would be using inner intention and trying to change the reflection in the mirror instead of changing what's being reflected. Your freedom comes from choosing your desired reality, changing what's being reflected in the mirror, and allowing things to work out in your favor as you put one foot in front of the other in the direction of your goal. And as a side note, when you're hot on the trail of your goal, you are going to see a lot of synchronicities. This past week, as I've been working on this, it has been synchronicity overload. All right. So every time you perceive a setback, you need to greet it with joy because these are actually guiding you towards your real goal. Any roadblock that you see is just blocking paths that would have led you away from your goal, and it's guiding you towards roads that are going to get you to where you actually want to go. And it will not go according to however you plan. But if you surrender your personal will to outer intention and you give up the need to control everything, the path will appear before you. And then you can use quantum intention to make the choices that will follow the path that outer intention sets before you. And then once you do that, you can use inner intention to physically take each individual step. Again, do you see how these are all intertwined? They're all connected. It's a series of steps. And it sounds paradoxical, but when you do this, you need to abandon all the attachment that you have of achieving the goal and remove all importance from it. Remember, all we did was select it from the infinite potentiality of all the alternatives, and we are allowing it to come into existence. But sometimes we choose wrong, and outer intention knows better than we do. So if it doesn't work, all this means is that you were actually meant for something greater than what you chose. I suggest that you aim way higher than you think you should, and then aim way higher than that, because you have unlimited power to choose. Anything is possible when you work with outer intention. And while you're doing this, you need to constantly embody what we call the will to have, of accepting the reality as yours. You need to realize that it's just sitting out in the ether, in the alternative space. It's waiting for you, and each day you are magnetically pulling it closer to you. And so at the outset, when you first choose your desired reality, you need to accept the possibility that it might not work. And then you need to let that thought go. Make that thought one time, let it go. And then consciously choose in each moment to accept this chosen reality as the one that you are going to bring into existence. And so again, if it doesn't work out as you expect it to, just smile, because it means that you are on the path to something even greater than you expected. And again, when you're doing this, whenever you insist on trying to do things in a very specific way, you're blocking outer intention from working. You're trying to manipulate what's reflected in the mirror. You're not trying to change what's being reflected. You're trying to work with the reflection. Do not do this. And again, open your mind to the possibility that the best path for you is extremely different than the one that you expect. So a couple notes on setting goals. This is going to sound pretty obvious, but you need to set goals that are true to yourself. Do not try to imitate other people or set goals that you think are going to make you look good in the eyes of other people. You need to listen to your heart. And don't worry, again, about being realistic. This is your left brain, your logical mind talking. Listen to your heart. And a lot of people, they try to set money as a goal, just money in general. This is not a good goal because this can be an attribute in your lifestyle of your chosen reality, but just choosing money as itself is a very weak goal. And another thing is, do not set ultimatums or timeframes. Don't try to say that you have to achieve this specific outcome by this date, because it just doesn't work like that. All right. So now for the actual mechanism, the technique to bring this into existence. And I recommend that you do this every morning to align yourself with your desired reality for the rest of the day. And also do it as you fall asleep, because this is when your subconscious is highly malleable and suggestible. So what you're going to do is you're going to immerse yourself in a scene in which you've already achieved your goal. And don't look at it like from the outside, like you're watching a movie. You need to be inside of this vision like you're playing a VR video game. So for example, if your intention is to live in a beautiful house, you need to immerse yourself in the reality of you cooking dinner in the kitchen, of you being on the balcony, of you sitting in a chair in the house, something. You need to embody the first person perspective. Feel yourself holding the knife while you're cooking dinner. Hear the sound of your wife talking to you. Smell, taste the food. You need to fully immerse yourself in whatever vision this is. So another example, if your intention is to be a superstar world-class musician, be on the stage of Madison Square Garden. Don't be someone in the audience watching you perform. You need to be the one on the stage. And while you're doing this, I talked about this in the last video a little bit, the way that you work with outer intention is by using the same power that you use in lucid dreams. So while you're doing this slide visualization technique each morning and each night, use the same power that you use in your lucid dreams to pull it from the void into material existence. And while you're doing this practice, you should feel great. You should feel amazing, because this is your desired reality. This is your vacation. There's nothing that you would rather have than this desired reality. And whenever I run my slide, whenever I do this exercise, I can't help but smile a little bit. And the objective of this practice, other than using the force of what you do in lucid dreaming to actually bring it forth from the void, is to get yourself so comfortable with living in this target reality that it feels no different than your life right now. This is keeping you from making this a dream. When you dream something, you are perceiving it as beyond your grasp. When you intend for something, you fully expect it to happen. And that's what we're doing with this. So again, every morning, every night, I recommend doing this for 15 to 30 minutes. And if you're serious about achieving whatever goal you set out, this is a very, very small price to pay. And one last thing that you can do to help outer intention work in your favor is install the meta program, Everything I Want Wants Me. I'll see you in the next video.